Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here in the Vienna Concerthaus. My guest tonight is Mr. Wynton Marsalis, the famous musician and legend. And how how are you doing right now? What are you doing?
We're getting ready to go to Detroit and play for limited audience, and we have meetings and stuff today. I'm working on some music, and I'm honored to talk with you, Tomas. You know, the last time we were on the stage playing, and we're
Mm.
gonna be back at it again. It lifted my spirits just to see you. So,
Oh,
thank you. And I see the hall behind you is fantastic,
yeah,
and
it's
I can't
just
wait, man.
it's a little hall. It's a little hall, and we're going to meet again in the big hall, hopefully.
All right. Whether we meet in the little one or the big one, we're gonna be there.
Oh yeah, we gotta play. We gotta play. It was so
Yeah.
nice. I just read that you posted something a few days ago. How that conductor lifted you up, and you did quite the same thing with me like 3 years ago when you invited me, and I was down after that first night, and you just looked at me and you said, "Yeah, why don't you come back tomorrow? We play something you know." Remember?
Man, yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you were down. You thought it didn't. What you thinking about it is not what it was, because you such a hearing and play with such purity. Even all the cats in the band were saying, "Man, my man, we had the biggest compliment." So what you thought was not sounding good was fantastic. So for
Oh,
us, we're honored when you come play with us, man. We love you. So you came back and played. It's just another one like the other one. That's what we
and
think.
it's something I will never ever forget in my life, and it was the greatest honor. And I really cherish the memory of all those. Now we've been on stage together 2 or 3 times, and it's
Yeah,
just I keep that very close to my heart, and it carries me through this whole experience now with the COVID, and I'm looking forward to get together again and play. That's the most important thing we can do, and we see all
yeah.
the time how people miss it when at the moment we can't play here, but when we could last year in the summer, whenever we played, people would tear up in the end because you could see they were dried out. They needed the music and the spirit. That's true because I stood with you on stage and I played and I thought while the band was playing, man, this is how it must have been playing with the Basie band. It was incredible. Such a great orchestra. And I really admire how you took it to such a level of importance. And now, in my mind, it's like you are leading what the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra is for classical music. You are leading this orchestra for jazz, and this is a astonishing achievement. How do you see
Well,
it?
I appreciate you having that assessment of us. We try to continue that tradition. You know, many big bands represented in our band. Ted played with Thad Jones's, Mel Lewis's band. Vincent Gardner played with Basie's orchestra. The late Joe Templey played with Woody Herman's orchestra.
Mm.
And we were very conscious of all those traditions and of playing the music. And of course, our band was founded with members of my septet. We were in our mid 20s then, and surviving members of Duke Ellington's band. So we were playing with the actual Ellingtonians from 1955 to 74. And
Wow.
with Joe Temperley, who's passed on, he played with the Ellington Orchestra right after Harry Carney died. So we had
Hmm.
a heavy Ellington influence in the orchestra. And over the years, we've every position we solo, but we also started to write a lot of arrangements. And now we have 10 arrangers, and our top 2 or 3 arrangers in terms of years has 120, 130 arrangements apiece. So
Wow.
yeah, we take pride in what we're doing, and we want to be great. We want to get better. The pandemic, we have a weekly call. We get ready to go on the road. We stay in touch with each other. We do education. We get online. We work. Our lives are intertwined. We have a very familial relationship, and we also play each other's music. So sometimes I'm the leader, and sometimes I'm not.
Hmm.
And the great Chick Corea just passed, and
Hmm.
for us, that means it hurt because he took the band out without me. So he led the band 2 summers ago. And Chick would come and play with us all the time. We arranged a lot of his music. And a lot of the musicians that were in the foundation of our music has passed away. Jerry Mulligan, Frank West, John Hendricks, Jimmy Heath, Benny Carter, the list of people, John Lewis that we played with goes on and on. Dizzy Gillespie,
Mm.
and a lot of what they taught us, we continue to develop in the music.
Yes, I can totally feel that, and you're taking it very seriously, and it comes from the heart, and it's just a wonderful experience to hear you live. And by the way, the big hall here in the concertos where you always play, it's really not easy to play, and it's not easy to sound good, and it's definitely not easy to sound that good in this hall because
Oh man,
your band is the top notch. That's true. Um,
well, we got to play with control in the bigger halls. We have to play a lot softer. For years,
yeah,
we always would say when we first started to play with symphony orchestras, we noticed how much louder we played, and we also don't play with monitors. So we have an easier adjustment. We over the years we've become used to listening to one another and trying to keep our balance on the stage, which I think for jazz is very important. The balance and to keep the volume down so you can communicate. Sometimes you get to a certain volume level, it's just like talking. If I start
yeah.
screaming at you, man, you don't want to listen to what I'm saying. I have to bring my volume down so that I can listen to you and encourage you to listen to me.
Oh yes, but it's very hard to hold your horses sometimes. I know from myself from playing with the
Right,
band, it takes you away and it's getting too loud most of
right.
the time. And I'm still growing older to learn how to play soft, but it's incredible to have witnessed that standing there on stage and hearing the dynamics and the precision. It was unbelievable. It sounded so good.
Oh
Um,
man, thank you so much, man. Thank you.
yeah, I hope you're coming back soon. Do you remember how often you have been here?
Man, I mean, I just know many times. I played Blood on the Fields. I've been going back to the '80s. I have a picture on the stage playing Blood on the Fields. It might have been 1997, '6, but I
Uh,
played long before. I think I first played in 1983 or '4.
okay, so your debut was playing Haydn and Hummel in '85 in the
See,
big
I
hall,
remember that. That's right.
and your
That's
jazz debut was in '91 with the septet. And
that's
then you
right.
carried on with the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra for about 15 times, I think you've played.
Oh man, yeah. A lot of times. I mean, we love coming there. We love playing. We love the house.
Mm.
We love hanging after. We love everything about it. The hotel. We love seeing you. It
Ah,
makes it familiar. It's like being
oh
more
yeah.
serious. It makes a big difference. From being on the road. When you see a great musician from another place, it's like a kindred. It's like family. It's almost like my father when I was growing up. When the musicians would come to New Orleans, like John Coltrane, my father always had pictures with Train, or McCoy Tyner played with Train in 1962. It's 1963, they came to New Orleans. And every time I saw McCoy, he would say, "Tell Ellis I said hello." Sweets
Hmm.
Edison, Clark Terry, when they would come to New Orleans, they always played with my father. Sonny Stitt, Art Blakey. So
Yes.
when you see somebody who can play the language and really can play, that whole city takes on a different feeling, and that's how we feel towards you when we see you. It's like, okay, our man is here. We're coming in the last time. Marcus said, "Hey man, Tomas is going to come up and play with us." I said, "Yeah man, I hope so." So you know the feeling of that.
Oh yes, I do. It's incredible to learn the language of music when you once really experience how it is that you can any musician from any corner of the world will understand the code of rhythm and harmonics and groove, and you'll find together somehow. And this is the thing that's so important about what we do. We connect people while others always try to split people into groups. We always try to connect them. This is why it's
That's right.
so dearly missed what you're doing. Um, what will the world be like after this? What do you think?
Better. I always think better, man. We have to take care of what it's going to be. The future is unknown. We make it by our decisions.
Hmm.
And though we have a greater technical capability now, we have to. The only thing I worry sometimes is our dream of the future. It's not a human future. It's a future of computers, and it's a future of technology where human beings function as slaves, masters and slaves. And we need a more holistic vision in which computers and technology are tools that are used to further us developing, instead of wealth for very few people, developing a common understanding of our common humanity and celebrating that and
mhm,
creating a future in which that's the main thing that we're thinking about, not who has the most guile or the most intelligence and can exploit the most people and exploit a workforce for their personal gain. We just need a more advanced concept of the future, And when we get out of this, you and I, we have to be better with each other, and it's a thing we have to be committed to, and then we'll
mhm.
see the change the way we want to see it.
Yeah, when we met for the first time, it was like the middle of the Trump period, and you said you were very explicit about we have to bring people together. We have to make music and
Right,
bring people together because
right.
everybody else is working on splitting them. How do you personally cope, and how does Jazz at Lincoln Center cope with the current situation with the coronavirus and all the restrictions we have to live in?
It's a struggle, but part of the thing that jazz teaches you how to also work inside of restriction. That's why form and time is so important. And
Mm-hmm.
you jazz, you can't just get up and play whatever. That's creative. It's a creative endeavor. But if you're going to play a song, one of your geniuses is your ability to really hear accurately harmonies and play in time. That's very different from just playing. So there's a certain amount of rigor that goes with that. So when you're playing with us, guys are listening to you play, and certain harmonic choices you make, they go ooh. So jazz also has a component of dealing with restrictions. Swing itself is a concept that is about accepting restrictions. Swing means I have to find something that is in common with you, not just
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm improvising and I'm doing my thing and good luck to you. I have to nurture the space with you as carefully as I take care of my own space. So
Mm-hmm.
for us, we have to channel that aspect of our music. Yeah, we have restrictions, but we have a pandemic. There's a reality to it. This is not Disneyland.
Yes.
This is life. And
Yes.
people all over the world have health limitations. We have familial restrictions. We have dysfunctions of all kinds that we all work in the context of. Bad relationships, destructive ones, self-destructive behaviors, many things we all deal with every day. And how do we live in the context of it? We continue to live and try to solve them and figure out what's going on. And that's what we do in jazz.
Yeah, that's what you do as a person as well. I saw you, you had like some pain, and you said, "No, that's just the way it is. It's the pain. What should I do? I don't take no pills about it. It's just I deal with it. That's life." And you're
Right.
always very straightforward and always going on working. This is something I was interested in as well to ask you, because you especially are somebody who's like, I would call you a workaholic as far as I know, because you're always in movement and you're always working on something. And now comes this thing a year ago that makes a complete stop on everything. What was your feeling when this whole situation started?
I didn't know it'd be this long, but for our organization, we have to stay alive. So
Hmm.
my feeling was what we have to stay in space. So if we are now going to be a media company and be on the digital space, let's get into that. So
Hmm.
tomorrow, we've been on a management call at 11 o'clock every morning, New York time, for the last year. We only
Wow.
took 2 weeks off. So we've seen each other every day at Jazz Lincoln Center. We have 80 something employees now, and we had to cut our budget by $35 million. So we've been working. And now it's a really tough time because it's going on longer. It's been a year, but it's still no, it's not going to stop. But we don't
No.
control it. It's going to stop when it stops. So we have to be dedicated to the long haul. And my feeling was that we need to be dedicated and we need to channel whatever we can from the trust that we have in each other that we've built up, and all the things we always say in normal time. With this and with that, okay, let's be that. We say we
It's
look out for people. Look out for people. We say we're willing to risk stuff. Okay, let's risk stuff.
yeah. This is.
Be the thing you say.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, in the gospel tradition, there's a song. It says, "I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song."
Hmm.
Okay, now's the time for us, in some small part, to see are we prepared to do that.
Hmm.
And we've been doing it. I'm very happy with my organization and my colleagues. They've shown me a lot.
Hmm. Yes, impressive because you're always creating your space. You know, there's that saying, "It's your world. I'm just living in it." And you get this this thing together, with which is incredible to make a great living for so many musicians to put together a big band, and the quality of touring with a big band, I think, has never been higher than with you. I guess to have the chance to play 3 nights in a row in every city, for example, that is something that's so important for musicians. And I really hope
You
to. I
you
hope
you
that.
you understand it.
Hmm? Sorry, I
And
didn't get
you
that.
understand it, but for me, it's been many years of doing one nighters, and I also drive most places.
Yeah, I
So I
know.
have 30 something years of I leave it, I get into a city at 3 or 4. I play gigs, talk to people afterwards. I get in the car at 1. That's an 8 hour drive, 9 hours. The next city, the same thing. That's 9 hours, 10 hours, the next city, next thing. Years of doing that. So that we can be have residencies and teach and be a part of the culture in cities. We've worked on that, and we want to do it. We want to become better at doing it, and we've worked on it for years. And we're lucky to have partnerships that allow us to do it. Like the partnership we have with the concert house. It allows us to be more effective on behalf of jazz, but also on behalf of culture in general.
Yeah, it's very important to build up places, connect with places, stay in touch with places, and the Concerthaus is a great place. Also for me, that we have a partnership as well that has helped me present a lot of different projects and do concerts every year. That's a fantastic partnership, and I'm also very happy to have it. Why exactly did you stop playing classical music? I never asked you that.
Just too difficult to get better playing jazz and also be really good playing classical music. Verse, it's serious, requires a lot of time. Then I
Uh-huh.
take off and I'll go on a tour. Then I will come back and then I'm trying to learn how to play jazz. And when I was growing up, wasn't a lot of people playing the music, so we mainly were playing pop music. And I just needed to be more serious to get. And my father's a jazz musician, so I always that's what I wanted to continue the legacy he wanted to have.
Hmm.
And that's why I just didn't feel like I played good enough splitting time.
Hmm. I understand, but you were
You know,
on the highest possible level as a classical soloist. But I can imagine, as I think of it as being alone as a soloist on the road is terrible. I need a band. I need a team to be together with, to hang out, to travel together, to have
that's
fun.
true.
And always being alone in places as a soloist is can be sad sometimes.
Yes,
Being alone
it,
in hotel
it,
rooms.
yeah, it's challenging, but it's challenging. But the more challenges is you don't play that long. If you play a
Hmm.
concerto, you play 15 to 17 minutes, then that's it.
Yeah.
So whereas a gig you're playing, but I still love classical music. You know all the trumpet your brother plays too, so
Oh
you
yeah.
you know about it.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, hey, there's a lot of trumpet being played. And
Oh yeah. Yes, and
I
a lot of
always love the tour. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, come on, he's for real. I
I
go on to
know.
YouTube and check him out.
Maybe
He
we
can
can get
play,
together
man.
next time. Next time I try to bring him along. You should really meet.
Man, I would love that. I love his playing. So it's
Yeah, he
it's
loves
just.
yours too. He introduced me to your playing, by the way. So
Oh,
it
but
stays in the
please,
family.
please tell him. Look, tell him I love him. I love hearing him play, and just tell him thank you.
I will. I will. And I can say the same back to you as well from him without having
Yeah.
talked. Wynton, I know you have to leave very soon to the next thing you have to do. Um, and when this interview is over, it's airing on Sunday, and they are going to play a live recording from the concertos from 1970 of Dizzy. Uh, so whoever's watching this right now will, after it's finished, see the Dizzy Gillespie quintet with Mike Longo, George Harris, Jimmy Merritt, and David Lee on drums. And it was recorded on the 14th of March in 1970. And it's since Dizzy was my first great inspiration that turned me on to jazz. because I saw him go walk on stage to the groove of the rhythm section, and just all the vibe around him that surrounded him made me want to do this. I saw it, and this is the thing I want to do, and you are the other great inspiration. So thanks very much for sitting down, taking the time,
Man,
and
thank
I wish you all the best, and I hope we see each other soon at the other end of this experience we're just having. And
we,
stay healthy and
we
safe.
hey, we're gonna see each other, and we're gonna have an even better party. We get together, me and you, and we get up. We on it. I love you, and I appreciate talking to you.
And
And
love you too. Thank you. Can't play. Can't play.
you can play. All right, man. Love.
Bye, Wynton. Thank you. Bye bye.